some reason, they had 2 perfections in my class.
Oh no.
So what would happen was, because I went to school with a bunch of shitheads, they'd fill the pegs up while it was launched down, but it wouldn't be on.
Oh
And
no.
They'd set the timer so it would just, the second you turn it on, it would launch.
Oh no.
And they'd sneak up behind people and just blast them with the freaking perfection boards.
Oh no.
Or blast each other. And there was yellow plastic everywhere. That's why the freaking perfection games were missing half the pieces all the time. Yeah, this is what kids did in elementary and primary school.
Also, I think it was because you were in multi-age and you were with kids who were much older than you.
Yeah, and the teacher wasn't paying attention and always thought I was up to no good. I'm not bitter, but yes, nothing's worse than when you're just trying to read a book and you just get blasted with yellow plastic.
Yeah. Well.
And the teacher doesn't take your side. It's ugh.
Well.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. On this episode, me and Alex are going to be taking a step away from the digital world of video games and instead going into more of a physical medium of gaming. In other words, we're going to be talking about board games, including some of the notable ones we grew up with and some of the more bizarre ones, because board games were kind of crazy back in the day. I mean, they're still crazy these days, but back then, they were something else. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I've been good, except for my tooth.
Okay. Explain.
Well, so as a young child, I got a motor scooter as a Christmas gift. It was one of those electric battery ones that you had to recharge. And there was a fatal day where I think I ran into a fence and I broke my tooth.
Alex, this was many occasions, though.
It was many.
Yeah,
it was many occasions of me running into things, but on this occasion, I broke my tooth. And since then, I've had a little filling, and I've had to get it refilled a couple times. And I need to get it done again, but I was betrayed. I ordered pizza this weekend, and I bit my pizza, and suddenly I was like, I crunched something, and I was like, what is that? That didn't seem like pizza, so I was freaking out. I was like, what's in my pizza? And then I lick my tooth, and I go, where's my tooth? And, so it broke just enough so Bill can see it right now that, it doesn't look that bad, but it's hanging on by a thread. It is it's very thin where it is covering, so I've been eating nothing but yogurt and really, soft food so I don't break it anymore. And that's how my week is going.
Probably for the better.
Yeah, because especially I have an important meeting tomorrow. I have to go. My boss isn't going, and I'm scared, and I don't want to go with a giant gap missing in my tooth.
You don't want to be like, I'm from the country.
Hey guys, I'll just talk like this.
Okay, let's not do that. But yeah. So it's been a while since we last recorded.
Yes.
At least 2 weeks.
Yes, it has been.
Oh boy.
So we're getting back into it. Woo!
Yeah. Well, I'd say, I guess for an update, so I now have a functioning Xbox 360 again. So that means we can do those projects at some point.
Yay!
That we had planned. Unless that one dies.
And then my apartment's cursed. But fingers crossed.
I just think Xbox 360s are temperamental pieces of shit sometimes, but...
Yep.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yep.
So I'd say what are we drinking, but we're recording early in the week, so it's Tuesday, and I'm drinking water.
I'm also drinking water. And
Yeah,
before the podcast, I took a couple sips from my water bottle, and I guess it grossed out Bill because I had my headset on and he could hear it.
Because their mic was right next to it, and it's like I didn't want to hear that, like in like HD 4K.
I'm so sorry. You had to hear me drink water. Boo-hoo. Boo.
Oh, okay.
There's a cat behind me.
Yeah, but other than that, been pretty tame.
Mm.
Mostly just catching up on other things.
You been watching anything?
No, not really. I've been doing more just kind of like housekeeping and just cleaning and stuff for the most part. I've been too tired to really do anything.
Yeah.
Last couple of days.
No, I feel ya. Yeah. No,
I gotta
I've been.
take more.
Oh, you go.
I gotta take more blog photos at some point, but
Yes. I have to watch more One Piece. No, I don't. Well, I'm waiting more. So I started watching some of the new episodes, and I was like, wait a minute, it's almost the time where we get more episodes. So I'm just gonna wait even longer for my episodes.
yeah.
To wait. So I
Nah,
started
I'm probably-
rewatching older ones.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably gonna start watching Fruit Baskets pretty soon because
Yeah.
that's getting very close to the ending.
Yep.
And I figure now is the time to if there's now a time to binge, this is the time.
Yeah, you might as well.
Or I could watch one of the 30 other unfinished animes I have.
That is also true. No, because I have a whole bunch that I could start watching too.
See, but you have less less of like a necessity to because you don't own like 4,000 box sets.
Yeah, but I pay for the Funimation subscription every month, so it's like it kind of like makes me watch more. Because I'm like, oh, I might as well start watching this since I pay for this anyways. Like, but I'm waiting,
Yeah.
like, because like My Hero Academia is coming out, but I kind of want to just like wait until they're all out and then I'll watch it. I'll just watch it all at once because I think it's only going to be like 20 or so episodes, so I'd rather just wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's Attack on Titan, which I don't know if that's finished yet. So
I think they finished the first half of the final
oh, they're
season.
doing it in halves. Oh, I kind of want to watch it. I think I might wait then. I might wait until they do a second half and then just watch it all at once.
I'm waiting till it's done completely, and then I'm just gonna binge the entire show.
Yeah, you should. It's pretty. I don't know the ending, but I'm like kind of waiting because I read the manga, so I know it happens up to the ending, but I don't know the actual ending.
Well, that's one of those shows that I don't want to get invested in it until I can like watch the entire thing. So.
Yeah. No, I hear ya.
Yep.
That's how
But anyways, you were gonna say?
well, that's how I am with One Piece right now. Because I'm just like, I want to watch more, but there's no more dubs. So I'm contemplating if I should just start watching the subs at this point. Because I just want to watch more.
That's all right. My coworker works apparently watching One Piece now too. So if
He
we ever have
is?
him on the if we ever have him on the
my
podcast, you'll have someone to talk to
Oh,
about
thanks. I can't wait. I want to talk to someone about it.
it. I'm sure you do. Well, anyways, so I guess now that we've had our annual talk about anime, because the gaming podcast where we talk about anime, you know.
Yeah, you know,
But
classic.
well, it's funny because our actual topic for today isn't even about video games.
But it is about games.
It's about games, just not of the digital sort.
Nope.
We're talking more about the physical sort.
Board games.
Board games.
Board games.
Oh boy, board game. You know, board games are an interesting medium because as much as they're outdated and they've been kind of replaced by other things, they still persist.
Yeah. And they're getting digital copies now too.
Yeah, that's a little weird, but
Yeah, because there's Monopoly, and I'm pretty certain there's a Digital Life, but There's some board games.
And this isn't even like video game adaptations. This is like digital phone like ways to play these board. It's weird and I don't get it, but I'm gonna be the old man again and just be like, I don't get this modern.
Back in my day, we had games that were actual boards.
They're made of wood.
Made of wood. Or paper.
Which is funny because we actually did have wooden board games.
We did. We had a couple, I think.
But anyways, yeah. So board games. Do you remember what the first board game we actually ever played was?
I kind of feel like it was Life.
It was either Life,
or
Monopoly,
like Monopoly,
or just straight up checkers.
I feel like it was Life. I have a feeling, but I could be wrong.
See, I remember Monopoly.
Maybe it was Monopoly.
They both involved money, so that we might just not be sure.
Yeah.
But we already talked about Monopoly a little bit in previous podcast with the video game adaptation.
But we can't bring up our copy of Monopoly, though.
The one, it was decrepit. It was falling apart. The money was missing. Like, it was missing a lot of. This was like an old copy of Monopoly.
Yes.
And I was, as I said before, Team Thimble for life.
Yes, and I was Team probably Animal.
You were the dog.
I was the dog. I was the dog, or any animal.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was on Team Thimble, and to sum up every Monopoly game, pretty much with the family, it was we'd play normally. Alex would lose all her money, then she'd cheat, then she'd flip the board. That would be it.
And then I'd go upstairs and cry.
Yep.
Good times. Good.
That was pretty much every Monopoly game we imaginable that we did.
Yep. It just always ended with anger and fighting.
And continuing on with Monopoly, we also had. So you guys know how like Monopoly. There is probably a version of Monopoly for absolutely everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you want to talk about monopolies that are. So there's some monopolies that are timeless.
Yes.
And then there are others that are such a product of their time. It's not even funny.
Yes.
So the nicest copy of Monopoly that we had, and probably still have, I'll have to dig it out at some point.
Yep.
Is we had Monopoly 2000 Millennium Edition.
Yes.
Which was the big special edition for the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back what a simple time. But I remember because it was all fancy, like all the colors were like super like futuristic.
They were all like it always like that metally material too, like that metal shiny.
The dies were gold.
Yes.
The dies were gold, and then all the items were like gold. All the items I believe were gold too, like shiny gold. Mm. And it was like super futuristic, and it was basically just like. It was a gimmick just to sell, obviously, but that was the one we played just for special occasions.
Oh yeah, that was like
because it was in good shape.
That was
and
the fancy board.
We didn't want it to get ruined.
I didn't play that one very often because
but the one we did play often, believe it or not, was actually Monopoly Junior.
Yes, because we were children.
Yeah, well, in that it was half the price of regular Monopoly.
Oh yeah, that too.
And like it was
half the price and half is fun. No.
Yeah, and it took half the brain cells to play.
Oh yeah.
Because it was basically half a board, and it was you still went past Go. I think you made twice as much going past Go.
Yep.
Money was simpler. All the stations were simpler. Like everything was just simple and easy for children to play. I remember we played that one all the time. I remember I had a PC game of that too.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, it was only on PC, and I remember it being one of those like old PC games with like the CGI.
Yep.
Like cutscenes all the time that always like failed to load because our computer was a potato.
Yep. Good times.
So that was basically Monopoly. Life, on the other hand, was more interesting.
Yes, I think we still fought when we played Life, but like we didn't as much.
So, fun fact with every board game imaginable: Alex cheats.
I I did not always cheat. I cheated sometimes. I will
when you
admit
were
it.
young, when you were young, you always cheated.
Okay, when I was a child, I would cheat a lot. Yes.
And nowadays, you always cheat.
I do not always cheat. Did I cheat when we played Monopoly on the Wii? I mean on the Switch? No, I did not.
You can't cheat.
Exactly. So I didn't cheat.
You make your own rules when we play the actual game, and it's like you just put up with it because that's the only way you're gonna have any fun. Yeah, keep flipping me off. No one can see it.
I hope they can see it.
But so the game of life is fascinating because it's unlike Monopoly, which is all about buying and like managing and making deals. Life was more about getting through a game and making smart decisions, basically quote unquote simulating a life.
Yeah.
And life was interesting because it was an endeavor to set up.
Yep.
Because you had to get all the little pieces in the board, all the little houses.
Well, all like the
freaking
little houses, like the little like mountainy areas of the road, or like the grassy.
The bridge, the spinner.
The spinner.
The spinner on our board was broken.
Yes, it was.
So the little clicker thing that like hits the pegs, like the little tape thing.
Yep.
It would fly off all the time.
So
and Alex like this, you had to hold it down.
Yep.
When you were playing, but Alex also was I'm gonna spin the thing as hard as possible, and half the time the freaking wheel would fly out, and I'd be like, great.
I would do that on purpose, or I would spin it really hard, and then the thing would fly out, and then I'd be like, oops, and then stick it back in, so it gave me the amount of space as I wanted. And
No. You always put it back in 10.
Yeah.
And you'd screw yourself on multiple times because you didn't think like, oh, maybe 10's not a good.
In my mind, 10 was a really great number. But in reality, it wasn't a great number. But in my mind, it was the biggest number. So I was choosing the biggest. I was also 8 at the time. Leave me alone.
You also would. So fun fact about life is like you always would like. You want to buy the insurance because the insurance always comes in handy later.
I'd never buy it.
Well, here's the thing. If you buy the insurance, you'll never need it.
Yep.
If you don't buy the insurance, you're always going to need it.
Yep. And
I swear that's how it always goes.
Yep.
But then there was also life is funny because you end up like with like there's certain spaces like, oh, you have to like pay to like a charity thing, or oh, you got busted by the cops, you have to pay this.
Yep.
And the first half of the game board, we're talking about the classic life, by the way, not the later updated version, which I don't think I've ever actually played now that I think about it.
I don't know.
But the classic life board, when you start, you have to pick a career.
Yep.
And you can either go through the whole career thing, or you can do what I did in actual life and just go right into the world. And when you do that, you get like this game's not realistic in a lot of senses because it gives you a crap job that makes your life 10 times harder, which isn't always the case.
Yeah.
But and then you could also or you could go through college and you could get a better job that pays more. Which is hilarious when you land on the space later on that switches jobs with another player.
Yeah, no. Because I think the career choices were it was like rocket scientist, doctor,
it was like the most generic, like the jobs that they're always like, you could be this in the future, and no one ever becomes that in the future.
Yep.
But one of my favorite like spaces in life is right before the first, because there's some mandatory stops on the board where you just kind of stop regardless. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite is right before the first mandatory stop. There's actually a space that's like, it's something like tornado strikes, go back to start.
Yeah.
And it's like, I take into context, I'm like, oh, I guess I died and I'm just reincarnated.
I got a second life. I just restarted. Game over. Yeah. Reset.
And my favorite too is like you could get like all these different kids, and like I'm not sure if you're supposed to get. The basically is your game pieces are little cars, and you put pegs in the cars to represent you
and your children,
your wife or husband, and then your children. And I don't know if you could only technically get 4 kids because I never read the rules, but because No, fun fact about board games: no one ever read the rules.
No. Why would you do that?
No, you just kind of wing it. But
Yeah.
you'd get the basic gist, and then you just kind of wing it from
And
there.
then you just kind of like go with it. I think you could get more than 6 because I think like there was space because you could technically land on like a triplet.
Well, I didn't know if there was a
space.
thing in the rules where if you landed on those spaces, you just couldn't do anything with them.
No, I think you just hold on to the pegs. I think you just hold on to them.
Oh, I used to just stick them in the car, so I just had like these like.
Them like stacked on
Abominations.
top of each other.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, life was fun. I played Life recently. Life gets really intense,
It
especially
does.
if you actually like follow how to play it.
Yeah. No.
All the money management. It's kind of like Monopoly, but even more stressful.
Well, it's like Monopoly, but like it's more
Well,
like
there's a goal.
you relate to it more because it's actual
Yeah.
life situations, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm stressed now. What
That
if
it
this
has-
happens
that
to
it
me?
actually-
I need car insurance. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that and it also has an end goal, which
Yeah.
Monopoly doesn't. Monopoly, you play until everyone loses except for the winner,
Yep, and it's just depressing.
and it can theoretically go on forever.
Yep, but not when you play against me because I make bad decisions.
No, you either make a bad decision, or you just get to a point where you're like, I don't want to play anymore. You just give up.
Yes, that too. That too.
But yeah. So other than Life, I'd say the only other board games we had really young was everyone had Checkers.
Yes.
And does anyone even remember how to play Checkers? Or-
I won't lie. I don't think I ever played the actual version. I think I would just stack the checker chips. I would just stack them and like create little towers out of them. Pretty
I think
certain that's all it did.
I think we'd just kind of go random places and pretend we were playing Checkers.
I think that's what would happen. We'd just be like,
I knew how to play Chinese checkers.
that was the one with the little pegs, right?
That's
On
the one that's in
back.
like a star pattern. It wasn't always pegs. Sometimes it was little dots, or sometimes it was like marbles.
Yep.
But yeah, I was good at that one. Checkers, not so much. See, we actually had this like one of those like novelty sets where it was like 6 board games in one on these like nice like solid wood boards, and it came with like everything you need to play every game. But I remember trying to play chess, and I to this day still don't know how to fucking play chess.
Nope. I don't either.
It's a strategy game, and I can't do it.
It is interesting though. I watched
Yet
like
there's supercomputers that are designed specifically to just play chess.
Oh yeah, I've actually like I don't know how it. You know how sometimes you're just on the internet and it just leads you to places and you're just like I don't
Yep.
know how I got here, but I am fascinated. And I just ended up watching like it was like an online chess games, but it was like with people who really knew how to play chess. And I was just watching, just like oh my god, like this is so like strategic and complicated.
Well, if you ever
and it's so
if you ever
you
you
go.
were saying?
No, you go first.
well, I'm saying if you ever want to watch something fascinating about chess, just look up the story of Deep Blue.
Oh no, I don't want to watch
It was
that.
it was about a chess computer.
Oh, okay.
Like it was like a supercomputer designed to play chess. It was basically designed to beat the grandmaster of chess at the time, because chess is intense. Apparently,
It is.
chess is really intense.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, it's
It's
interesting.
too intense.
Well, cause like there's one anime. It's called
Of course there is.
It's called No Game No Life. And they did have an episode where they were playing chess. And it was just like interesting to see, like, but it going back to like the matches and stuff too. Like it's just interesting to see. Like they'll just be like, be a horse to like be something like to the position, and like they'll already like look at the board at the beginning, like after someone's first move, and they'll be able to like figure out if they could win or not, like by someone's first move on the board. It's like nuts. Like I don't know what video I saw, but it was like it was some YouTube creators, and they went up against like someone who was a professional chess player, and like the chess person just beat them all like in like 5 turns because like they were just able to analyze it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play it, but it's interesting.
I could never play chess.
No.
It's too much mind power for me.
Yes.
But yeah, and then so chess was funny too because every chessboard on the bottom always seemed to have like backgammon as well, and I don't think I knew anybody who knew how to play backgammon.
I didn't know what backgammon was until
it was the thing on the other side of the chessboard.
Well, no,
the checkerboard.
No, I know what you're saying now, but what I've never heard of that word though. Like I had never heard of anyone call it that. Like I didn't even know that was a game on the other side. It is, but I've never heard anyone go, let's play backgammon. I don't even know what to say. Let's play it.
Yeah, backgammon.
Backgammon.
But so I guess now we'll move into more like some of the more like, I guess like you could say late 90s and early 2000s board games we played.
Yes.
I want to start with Perfection.
Perfection.
So Perfection's a bit of a stretch because it's not really a board game. It's more of a... So Perfection is essentially, it's a little machine.
Yes.
And it's basically like a toaster oven in a sense.
It has like a timer.
Yeah, but it's basically you press down the playing field and then you set the timer. And the goal is you have to fill all the shapes on the field, like these little yellow like shapes they fit in. It's basically put the square in the square hole, circle in the circle hole kind of thing. And you have to put them all in under the time limit before the board will basically it'll eject back upwards and it will launch all the pieces you put in out.
Yep.
So the goal is you want to get them all, and then you can stop the timer, or else the thing will burst everywhere.
It was so stressful.
Yeah, especially if your dexterity was terrible.
Well, also because like the whole time you can hear the timer going, and it's like it's going like tick 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 tick. So you're just like like adding.
See, it's not a fun game to play by yourself though, because it's so easy to cheat when you play by yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't play it by yourself. You gotta play it with someone else. Even though on the box, I looked up a picture of it, and on the box it shows just one kid, and he looks. I'm concerned for him. We're both concerned for him.
All right, all of the old '90s and early 2000s like board game art was amazing for how cringy it was.
Oh yeah, it's all so cringy.
I have a fun Perfection story. So, I was in primary school. I was, for the first 2 years of my schooling, I was in multi-age. So, and for anyone that doesn't know what multi-age is, basically it was kindergarten, first grade, second grade were basically all in one class, and you'd stay in that same class for like all 3 of the years. So you'd be with like the same kids for multiple years with the same teacher kind of thing.
Yep.
It doesn't work, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's kind of a disaster because
the
teachers never like 100% dedicated to students, and they fall behind. Really, it's not good.
Whoever thought of that, I'm just like, it's stupid. But anyway,
I only lasted 2 years, and I got pulled out of it for my for second grade. But
yeah,
because this was like early schooling, there was always like playtime and like just early time to just kind of F around before we actually had to learn, quote unquote learn.
Yes.
So, for some reason, they had 2 Perfections in my class.
Oh no.
So, what would happen was, because I went to school with a bunch of shitheads, they'd fill the pegs up while it was launched down, but it wouldn't be on.
Oh
and
no.
They'd set the timer so it would just, the second you turn it on, it would launch.
Oh no.
And they'd sneak up behind people and just blast them with the freaking Perfection boards.
Oh no!
Or blast each other. And there was yellow plastic everywhere. That's why the freaking Perfection games were missing half the pieces all the time. Yeah, this is what kids did in like elementary and primary school.
Also, I think it was because you were in multi-age and you were with kids who were like much older than you.
Yeah, and the teacher wasn't paying attention and always thought I was up to no good. I'm not bitter, but yes, nothing's worse than when you're just trying to read a book and you just get blasted with yellow plastic.
Yeah. Well.
And the teacher doesn't take your side. It's. Ugh.
Well, to conclude
Anyways, moving on.
To conclude that story, I'll say, "Fuck your teacher. She was a bitch."
Yeah, and she gets paid way too much money. But yeah, anyways, moving
Yep.
on. She's still fucking there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess
But,
she didn't flip off her class.
No, that was your teacher. Actually, I had her too, actually. But anyways, moving on from that. That's a
My
story for
class
another
made her
time.
nuts. Anyways.
Anyways, so yeah, that's my story with Perfection. Another classic from then was... We should probably talk about Mousetrap.
Oh, yeah. Mousetrap. Was it even
Everybody-
a game? Was it even...
No, yes, it was a game, because I've watched videos... AVGN did a video... Well, Board James did a video explaining how you play it.
Yeah, but no one ever actually played
No,
it.
nobody...
He just
yeah,
messed around
we had
with
Mousetrap.
it.
We had Mousetrap. I don't think we played it once.
No.
All you'd do is you'd build the thing, watch it happen, you'd get bored, that was it.
Yeah. You'd, like, watch it happen, like, once or twice. Like, I think it was, like, 3 times, and then you're like,
Well,
alright,
yeah, because it never worked the first time.
Yeah,
You always have to try again.
You always had to attempt multiple times.
Nothing was better than when the cage would like start falling down and would get stuck. And you'd be like, well, what does this mean?
To be honest, like, I kind of forgot that it was actually supposed to be a game. I thought it was just a toy that you played with.
No. That was when around the point where board games were starting to get a little bit too complicated.
Yep.
But anyways, aside from that, there was also... God, what was another classic one?
Trouble!
Trouble.
Trouble.
So Trouble was another one of those, like... See, there was, like, board games that you would see everywhere, like, everyone would have.
Yep.
And Trouble was usually one of those.
Yes.
But you remember Trouble more than I do. I just always remember pushing the button.
So I remember, like, my distinct memories with Trouble were that, like, we used to go to these, like, YMCA camps during the summer. And we would, like, go...
And they were bad. They were awful experiences, but anyways.
Well, in this one particular was, like, it was hosted, like, at our school, like, our elementary school.
Yeah, and you got to spend... You had to spend the summer with all the fucking kids you hated from the school year.
Yeah, it wasn't a great time.
No, it was terrible.
And one of the things was, like, if, like, you didn't have a field trip, you basically had to just sit in, like, a cafeteria all day.
All day.
And just play board games, or, like...
And Game Boys were banned, because of course they were.
It was, yeah, board games, or, like, they'd open up the gym, and then you'd play, like, dodgeball. But a lot of the kids there were, like, the kids that hated playing dodgeball. It was not a great
Yeah,
camp.
so we always played kickball instead, and kickball sucks at your gym.
Kickbox. But one of the games that they always had was Trouble. And Trouble is, like, I don't remember exactly how to play, but I'm pretty certain, like, it was, like, a 4-player game, and in the middle there was, like, this little button, and inside of it was a dice. So when you and when you hit the button, that's how, like, you were able to do it. So I think, like, the main goal of the game was, like, you had like 4 little pegs, and you had to get those pegs either back or to, like, the center. I can't remember exactly. But it was, like, one of those games that was, like, very fast paced, which is why I think it had the like, little button in the center, because, like, everyone it would be, like, someone's turn. It would be, like, a rapid game.
See, Trouble, I always mix up Trouble with Sorry.
Yes. Which Sorry was also a very rapid game. And it was also one everyone owned. And we played a lot at that summer camp.
I always remember Sorry because the whole goal with Sorry was you were supposed to screw people over.
And that's why I liked it. No.
I always remember those. Actually, this is funny. We didn't have the actual board game Trouble at home. We had this, like, mini keychain version that, like, folded open, and it was basically Trouble, but tiny.
Yep.
It was so weird.
So fun. They used to do that all the time, though. Like, they had, like, all these miniature versions of everything. Like, that was just a big thing.
Yep. Well, anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Woo!
And we're back.
We are back.
So, another all-time classic, which is ironically still relevant even to this day. Jenga.
Jenga!
So, Jenga is basically one of the most simple games of all time. It's basically a stack of blocks in like 3x3s, and the game can be played a lot of different ways. Like the most common one is the classic. You have to take a piece out and you stick it on top.
Yep.
And you kind of have to, basically everyone takes a turn, and as you go, you want to keep the tower going without falling over as you remove parts from the bottom and put them on top.
Yep.
It gets intense.
It does. Have you seen some people like play and like they'll be like they'll like karate chop their tower and it will just like boom, like the block will fly out. It's nuts.
Yeah. Or I've seen them where it's like it's all just like the middle pieces all just like stacked on top of each other.
Yep.
Like, perfectly. And I'm like, how the hell did they do that?
How? Or like I've even like seen, well, I've played before where like I've seen the tower tilt, and so I've just gone in and like tried to use like air to blow
on it.
Yeah, blow on it to try and get. And sometimes it worked. Sometimes, a lot of times it didn't work, but sometimes it worked.
Another fun Jenga is a lot of times at bars now you'll see
the giant ones.
Jenga.
Oh, giant Jenga is so fun, but it really hurts when a block falls on your foot.
Or the tower falls on you.
Or yeah, that too.
That happened to me.
Oh no! See, that's the point where you are not sober enough to play it because you don't know where it's falling.
No, what happened was my friend pulled out the block, and it started to fall towards him, and he freaked out and pushed it away and hit me. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that the next time we're playing Jenga. I'm just gonna be like, oh no, it's falling.
He was drunk. I was only slightly drunk.
I'm gonna do that. I won't even be drunk. I'm just gonna do that because that would just be hilarious to do to you.
Yeah. But another cool version of Jenga I've seen, because Jenga has can be pretty diverse. Is you ever played Truth or Dare Jenga?
Yes, I have.
Where it's like every block has a dare or on it or a truth, and it's like this is an ironically really cool idea.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like, you go in and you pick them by like the spot. Like a lot of times, like you'll go in and you'll pick like the little spot in the middle that you can easily push out, and then you get it and you're just like, oh shit, I picked like the worst possible dare or the worst possible truth that anyone could ask me. Just adds to the challenge.
Yep.
Hiccup.
Yeah, so Jenga was fun. So now getting into more of a bizarre puzzle board game. I had this one board game way back in the day. It was called Vampire Hunter.
I
remember
the game, but I don't remember a single moment of playing it. I just remember looking at it.
So we played it a couple times because I actually did figure out how to play it. I don't remember exactly how it worked nowadays, but basically the game's gimmick was like, this was back when vampires were still cool before Twilight ruined everything about vampires. But
this is before they sparkled.
Yeah. But the game's gimmick was, it was one of those board games that you had to play in the dark.
Yep.
Which was kind of spooky, especially it was great on Halloween. But the game's gimmick was there was a lamp that you'd set up in the middle of, which was like the tower from the graveyard that the game was set in.
Yep. And
you'd press the button on the thing, you could change the light from red to blue. And when it was red, certain things on the board and some of the cards you'd get would look like one thing.
Yep.
But when it was blue, they'd look like completely different things.
Yeah.
So it would change the outcome, because it was kind of a linear game. You'd kind of follow a path, and then you'd get to the end kind of thing. I remember it being pretty fun. It was definitely unique for the time.
Oh, yeah. I didn't remember the color change option, which now, looking at the box art, it makes a lot of sense. But I remembered the light, but I kind of forgot that that's what it does. Oh, that was actually a cool gimmick. That was actually pretty cool.
That was whenever we had, because this was back in the days of school where towards the end of the year when the teachers were checked out and didn't care anymore, they'd always do like random just days, like they'd have like movie day or stuff. Where we went to school, almost every year there was always board game day.
Yep.
Where everyone just brought in a board game and then you'd play board games.
Yeah.
But I always brought Vampire Hunter just because it was so unique.
Yeah, so unique and so fun.
Even though we could never play it though, because I was too dumb to realize you couldn't play that game in the light.
womp, womp, womp. He's just like, teacher, can we just go sit in the closet and play this?
We actually went to a dark corner, like a darker corner, because the teacher actually turned the lights off in the room, and we went to a darker corner.
Oh,
it
that's
actually
sick.
worked.
Oh, that was a cool teacher.
That was towards the end where I actually had decent teachers, but yeah. So that one was fun. Now, what should we move on to next?
Oh, we should talk about Scrabble.
Scrabble. Scrabble. The go-to camping video game.
Oh yeah, video game, board game.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah. So Scrabble.
Oh yeah.
Basically the spelling game.
The spelling word game. Good times.
No,
bad times.
I played Scrabble a lot because Scrabble was always the one game that like
everyone could play that game. Like
everyone could play it somewhat.
Yeah.
And it was good for killing time. But I'll always remember this one camping trip we went on because of the most jacked up Scrabble game I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Basically, our mother and Alex
Yep.
were in the middle of a like Scrabble match, and I just walk over and I'm like, I'm curious. I look at the board and I looked at some of the words, and my immediate thing was like, these aren't words. And I was like, I pointed out Malta. I'm like, there's no E in that word. That's not spelled right. That's not even a word.
Yo.
I still don't know what DQ was.
Oh wait, DQ?
Yeah.
Dairy Queen.
I don't know if you were going. Yeah, I don't think that's what you were going for. But
wait, DQ? Like D and the letter
it
Q?
was literally D and Q.
Yeah, Dairy Queen. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I was an obese child too. I loved food, and I'm still obese. So, and I still love food.
Shut it.
No.
Also, one of you guys put down moist, and I want to know which one it was.
I feel like it was Mom.
the trigger word.
Moist.
Thank God I still have that picture saved because that'll be in the thumbnail. Trust me.
Oh no! Can you delete that picture, please?
No.
No. Why?
I love that.
Oh.
That game brought me so much joy. Just for, like, what is this?
I think I remember that game too, because I think like I just had like I think I had like a row of like 6 E's. Like I think all of my letters were E's. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with
you added the E's into words that didn't.
Yeah. I think that happened. I think Mom just went along with it because she felt bad that I had like 6 E's. I think I remember showing her.
Or she just wasn't paying attention and was like.
Or she just wanted it to be over, and she was like, "All right, if I do this, it'll be over soon." Yep. Well.
Yep.
Good times. Now I want to play Scrabble. Can we play Scrabble?
We should see if Scrabble's on the Switch. To be honest.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
But So okay, here's another classic ruining friendships game.
Yep.
Uno,
which it's technically a card game, but like when are we're not gonna do a podcast on card games, so
unless we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's not anytime soon.
Yeah, but that's different from Uno, so we're just jumping this in with the board game. But Uno. And I don't think we ever played it actually right, because apparently no one...
No, we played it right. There's just different ways to play it.
Yeah.
Apparently. I'll never forget. So Uno is pretty simple. It's just a card game. You know, you match colors, and the goal is to have no cards in your hand.
Yep.
And there's a lot of cards that cause you to draw cards, and it's one of those games that theoretically can never end.
Yep.
Which it didn't.
No, it didn't.
So, we had... The neighborhood we live in is incredibly blackout prone, especially in storms.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because we live in, like, tree-surrounded area, so...
Yeah, and it always seems to take out the power lines.
Yep.
We're running out of trees to take out the power lines at this point. But, so yeah, we had this one blackout where we were out of power for, like, an entire day.
Yep.
And by the end, we were so bored. It was pitch black. We had a fire going in the fireplace. But other than that, we were like, what do we do? So we're like, let's play Uno.
Mistake.
The game never ended.
I also think we had a double stacked like deck of cards. Like I think we had 2 decks combined. So I think we had double the amount of cards too.
Yeah, but theoretically, a game can still end like even with a double stacked deck. It was just it never ended.
Yep, no.
This is the only time Alex has ever seen me rage quit at a freaking non-video game.
Yep.
Because it was like we played.
It went on
we literally.
for hours. It went on
for Alex. It went on for like 5 hours, to the point where the power came back on.
And we were still playing.
And we were still playing, and I was so tired, so fed up with Uno that I just straight up slammed my hand down on the table and just said, "I'm done," and just walked off.
Yep.
And I have yet to play Uno since.
Well, you're in luck, because I got a new set of Uno cards, and we're gonna play.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah, so that was another classic.
Yep.
And then here's another great staple of parties back in the day was Twister. Twister.
Which I also think was at that summer camp. Or at
Yeah, but we
camp.
never played it because reasons. I forget why it was
I think
banned.
they did ban Twister.
They banned Twister. I don't know. And keep in mind, this was like pre-middle school, so there was nothing. I hope there was nothing sketchy reason why it was banned, but anyways. So yeah, parties. Twister was where it was at.
Yes. I don't really remember playing Twister that much, but you have memories of Twister, so you go on.
I played
ahead.
Twister at a few parties, and the basic gist of Twister is you got a wheel to spin, and you got like hands. So basically, you spin the wheel, you get the color, you get the hand or the leg, and you got to put either your hand or leg on the thing. And basically, as the name would suggest, things get kind of twisty.
Oh my god! All right.
Did you just realize that?
No. I just remembered that there's an anime.
Of course there is.
And at one point they play Twister.
Yep.
But it's not like the whole focus of the show. It's just one episode.
But what makes Twister interesting is...
But wait. But if they didn't win the game, they die.
Of course, because it's an anime.
Yes.
But yeah. So what makes Twister interesting for the people who haven't played it is you have to share that whole game board with multiple people. I think usually 4 is the max.
Yep.
You're about to get real close with people. Let's hope that you are friendly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. And it always got super awkward real fast.
Yup.
Because that was the point of the game.
Well, it was a game that made you uncomfortable, but you also needed to balance and be able to, like, it took skill. It also took skill.
Oh yeah, and the sadistic person spinning the wheel would always go out of their way to make it so it was the hardest way it could possibly be.
Oh, Bill! I remember, I don't know who did this, but, when I was a camp counselor, one of the other counselors had their kids play Twister. But instead of actually spinning the thing, he was just calling out the space.
Oh yeah, we've done
so
that
he was
before,
just
too.
purposely... Oh, it's great. I love when you play Twister like that, because it's just so much more funny.
Drunk Twister gets dangerous real fast.
That's where you need the Twister board that I sent in the Word doc.
Yeah.
The one I found in the Word doc, it's like this blow-up Twister board. It looks actually kind of fun. So
once you get sat on, that's usually when you're done. When you no longer want to play Twister.
Yep. I don't think I ever got sat on.
I got sat on twice, and it was never pleasant.
No, doesn't sound pleasant.
No.
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Especially when they're drunk and they don't want to get up, and it's like, get up.
Get off me!
Get up,
I can't breathe.
Yeah. So yeah, but do you remember Twister Moves?
No. What the?
This just popped into my head. There was a spin-off of Twister.
Was it a dance game?
Yes, it was like a dance game that had like it was like a fitness game, and it was like it came with this like
I feel like we
instructor.
had this.
We did. That's why I remembered it.
I'm like looking at. Oh my god! Oh my
It was
god!
like-
It was like Twister.
It was like
DDR.
It was like DDR.
But
it was weird.
But there wasn't like it's not like the boards actually had electronics. They were still just mats, but you had like the
yeah,
disc.
but you went along with a DVD.
Oh, I'm reading the
And there
box
was, like-
now. Twister Moves bring the dance floor home. The game where you twist, dance, and move to the music. 3 music CDs with 144 total dance sessions.
Yeah. I think I played one and then I was bored.
Oh,
Done.
you know what's even funnier about it? Is
What?
that I think it's Aaron Carter or Jesse McCartney's face is on the box, like as a. I think
Of course
it's like
it is.
some sort of like endorsement.
This was like the mid 2000s that they were still relevant.
That's hilarious. My God, but it was
Right.
just like a mat with like 4 or 5 dots, and like you just go, oh my God. All right, this popped up. It's unrelated, but do you remember Skip-Its? That was like
Yes.
those little rings, and that I guess Twister Moves made a Skip-It too, but there's a
Skip-Its were also banned from school.
yeah. Well, because you could just whop people with them. They were dangerous.
No, some girl got like walked too close to someone using a Skip-It and tripped and smashed her face.
Dangerous
On the pavement.
Well, she's just a dumbass, but I saw people would
Yeah.
take them and just throw them at people, like hit people. With
No,
them.
I never saw that. We had one incident that caused a near lawsuit, which basically meant Skip-Its were banned. You know.
Didn't the schools used to have like really cheap ones though? They were like these ones, and they instead of like the big like hard piece of plastic on the end, it was just like one of those like little balls that had like the circles in it, like circles
Yeah,
cut in.
they weren't great. But yeah, I remember Skip-Its. That
Yeah.
was another
Off topic. but-
product of its time.
Yep. Good times. Good times.
Yep. Now another classic board game from back in the day was Connect 4,
Connect.
which is
Four.
still very relevant even to this day.
And like Jenga, there's giant versions of it too.
Yep, of course there is.
Oh,
Uh,
I remember
it's basically-
us like fighting about Connect 4. I remember us playing it and getting really mad at each other. I don't know why, but I definitely remember yelling at you about Connect 4.
Well, like all board games, you would cheat,
Yes.
and I'd catch you. How do you? The people questioning how do you cheat at Connect 4? She'd think I wasn't looking and drop 2 things in, and be like, "Ooh, how did
How did
I
happen?
do that?"
I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Ooh, doo, 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 doo.
Yeah. Yeah, but basically, for anyone who's wondering, Connect 4 is basically it's like vertical tic-tac-toe, I guess. Well, not
Well-
really. Basically, you have one person's blue, one person's red, and the whole goal is you want to get 4 in a row, and basically you put in one piece at a time, and you can either do vertical, horizontal, or diagonal.
Yep.
So it's kind of you just want to time it out, and
Yeah.
basically you want to get the thing, but you also want to stop the opposing player from getting the Connect 4 as well.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it is very similar to tic tac toe, where except it's 4 in a row, and you just gotta.
Yeah.
But I remember like sometimes like you would like. I would have games where I'd play with people at that summer camp, and and like we would fill the whole board. Like it would just be completely full because sometimes
Oh, yeah, you
like,
could have like no winners.
yeah, you could have no winners, just like tic tac toe. So the Connect 4 was fun though. Did like
Yeah.
Connect 4.
And my favorite was there was 2 different versions of that game. There was one that had a ejector at the bottom
Yep.
that made it easy to restart. And then there was the other ones that didn't, so you had to flip it over and dump it.
Well, it's not that they didn't have it. It's just that all the kids broke it. So
No. We had one in one of my schools that was like an off-brand one. And it literally was just you had to tip it
Oh.
over and dump it out.
That's
It was
so bad.
It was also like red and white rather than red and blue. It was odd.
It was patriotic. Red,
Yeah,
white,
it
and
was
blue.
actually.
Woo.
But yeah, I remember that because it was always like you'd finish and then
And
you
then
had
you'd
to
just be like,
dump it out.
But that was part of the fun of it too, because you'd be like, it's dumping everywhere. Let's play again. Whoa.
Yeah.
Good times.
Now, do you remember Candyland, right?
Yes, I loved Candyland. Oh.
Candyland is like the most like vanilla, like, simple game ever.
Oh yeah.
But it's so memorable.
Oh yeah. It's so It's so charming, and well, because even now, like, they still have Candyland. You can still buy it, and it's like it's a very kid-friendly game. Because it was the game where you'd play, like, I think you'd be like a gingerbread man.
Something
Was your
like
character?
that. All I remember is it always made me really hungry, and I think that was a problem.
Oh God, Bill.
Well, it's a food-based
I know
game.
it is. It's all candy. I don't know if this was a computer game or a PlayStation game.
You had a computer game
Okay.
based off of it. I remember
I'm
this.
I remember having a computer game based.
You played
off
that
of it.
many times.
Oh, it was really fun. I remember it
Why
being
is the
fun.
I always had a thing. Why was licorice evil? What does the world have against licorice?
Okay, so I like red licorice, but black licorice is gross. I don't like it. It tastes gross.
Still, why is licorice the villain?
Because it's gross. No one likes it.
He was red
like-
in the game.
No, it was red and black. It was black and red. It was
It's
both.
not that bad.
Well, here you can buy all the black licorice. That's gross.
I did.
Ew.
I've done that before.
Well, you're gross.
You ever want to be the dick at a party? Buy black licorice.
Yeah, because then you just eat it all yourself. That's
No, you don't.
now I want.
you leave it. You leave it there, and it stays there forever.
See, I'd rather just have like a Twizzler, like a classic.
Yeah, you can get black ones.
No, I want a traditional Twizzler. A traditional. Ugh.
Uh,
Ugh. Ugh.
I didn't think you'd get so offended by black licorice.
It's so gross. It's so gross. I'm sorry to anyone listening who likes black licorice. I just don't. Is that the right way of saying it? I don't want to be rude. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if there was
It's
like
licorice
another-
flavored.
I don't know.
I always.
I don't
It's
know.
licorice
I wasn't-
flavored.
I don't know. Okay.
Oh, move on from this.
Do you remember Chutes and Ladders?
Of course I do, because I remember all the parodies too.
Oh yeah, because there was all the different. Oh, like what was it in SpongeBob? It was eels and escalators.
Eels.
Escalators. Eel. Yep. That was always a good time. I remember like playing Chutes and Ladders, and then you'd play it one too and be like, "This is stupid. This game's so boring."
It was pretty. I mean, it was pretty good if you could get it timed out right. But another good board game. Well, not really. I guess this was kind of a board game. Was Hungry Hippos.
Oh yeah. Well,
We broke it.
yeah. Well, especially like the 2000s were the time where they had like all these just bizarre like games and like
I don't know. They've gotten pretty bizarre lately.
Oh yeah, they're bizarre now too. But there was like the Hungry
The
Hippos.
2000s was the start of it.
It was the beginning of it. And one of them was Hungry Hippos, which we did have, and we did break. Because we were
freaking animals and just smashed the shit out of it.
it was more we were very, very, very competitive.
And we were aggressive as shit,
Yeah.
and we beat the shit out of them.
We did.
Actually, this wasn't on the list, but also Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yes. Where we also were very aggressive, and we also
Yeah, but we never broke those.
well, because those were designed to be aggressive.
Well, yeah, but you also learned how to cheat at that, too. Because the way Rock'em Sock'em Robots work is it's kind of like a joystick thing where you got two thumbsticks,
Yep.
and you press down on the thumbs to make the robots punch.
Yep.
But Alex learned that if you punch the joystick down, the force of that will just basically guarantee you a
Hey,
win.
I'm sorry that I am just so intelligent, even at a young age, where I figured out.
Yeah, as you look
How
like
to
a
cheat.
psychopath over there punching the Rock'em Sock'em
Hey,
Robots
I may have
machine.
looked like a psycho, but I was a winner, and that's all that
I remember
matters.
I remember we had one like wicked intense game where you actually played normally, where we actually knocked one of the robots off his pedestal. Like he popped off, but his head didn't come up,
Yep.
so it wasn't a win. It was a draw, I guess.
Yep. Good times.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Oh, and then
Another
another one I want to talk about
Okay.
He doesn't remember it, but there's this game. It was called Lucky Duckies, and it was like this little pond, and I think the ducks would like spin around, and it had like a little motor, and I think you had like a little tool. This is a game for like very like babies. It was basically like find the red duckies, but I think you couldn't. I think there was like there were duckies, and they had like a color on the bottom, and you were basically just guessing blindly if it was your ducky, but I just remember it had little duckies and they spun around, and I saw it when we were researching, and I was like, Lucky Duckies! What a cute little game. Anyways.
Oh, actually, I just got reminded of this right now, but do you remember Break the Ice?
Maybe.
So Break the Ice was like a blue little platform, and you put all these white like ice cubes in it, and you had a hammer. And the goal, you had to like basically each person had a turn. You had to knock out an ice thing, and basically whoever could.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to like do it without destroying the field or something.
Yep.
I don't remember it exactly. I just always remember that because like everybody had it.
Yep.
And if you lost one chunk of ice, the game was ruined.
Yep. Because you couldn't play it anymore.
There was actually real talk here. How many board games got ruined because you lost one piece?
Oh yeah, there were so many. Like Operation, like if you lost like one piece, like it just was like, well, because the thing is with Operation, you didn't lose one, you lost at least three. Like you lost a whole bunch because they were these tiny little pieces of plastic, or as a child you ate them, which is also an option.
There's also a rubber band, and it always broke.
Yeah, that too.
Well, my favorite was the pieces in Operation was funny because you'd have pieces that you lost that you'd find later on because they were stuck in the board.
Or you'd find them like a month later around your house or something. Like just kicked around.
What was funny is our Operation board, the one we had, before the batteries in it corroded because, you know, kids don't realize you can't leave batteries and stuff.
Nope.
But, ours was missing the nose.
Yep.
The nose was gone. Out of all the things to be lost, the freaking nose.
Bill.
Yeah, I know.
I think I stole the nose.
But the bulb was missing too.
Oh, I didn't steal the bulb. But I did steal the nose cover. I did steal the nose cover, and I think I destroyed it. Well, we were also
Operation
kids. You know, kids
Operation was weird.
Kids destroy things and kids eat weird things. We're weird.
Oh, so many board games.
Oh yeah, there's so many little plastic.
But another... What?
So many little plastic things that just look so yummy.
I know. Kids are idiots. That's that's part of life.
We were idiots.
Kids that's part of growing up. Kids are stupid.
Yep.
But yes, but then I guess we'll end it off with one final game. Everybody knows about Clue.
Yes. Clue.
And the best part about Clue is Clue's been around for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah.
And there has been many, many different versions of Clue.
Yep.
And especially because we had one in particular.
Yes, we did.
We had the Simpsons Clue.
Yep.
And I always found that hilarious because we were big into the Simpsons at the time. Like,
oh yeah.
Because we had the box sets for seasons 3 through 7.
Yep.
Which is a big portion of the golden age of the Simpsons. So we had like all sorts of different Simpsons like merchandise, but one of the things we had was Simpsons Clue.
Yep.
And I always loved the different Clue variations because they always tried to change it up, like the basic concept of the game up to fit that universe. So like in the Simpsons Clue, all the characters like they were still the game counterparts. Like, I believe
like
Mr. Green was Homer.
Krusty the Clown was Colonel Mustard.
Colonel Mustard.
And then
I don't remember the names.
Lisa was like the
what always got but the one that I always remembered was Waylon Smithers was Mrs. White.
Yeah.
Yes, Mrs. White, the maid.
Yes.
I always remember that.
I'm looking at the board game box right now, and I've been looking right at that.
But Clue was always fun because it's basically a murder mystery.
Oh yeah.
And I really do like murder mystery like games and like. I mean, my favorite video game of all time is Persona 4. I mean, that game is the murder mystery.
Yep.
They're fun. You like to, like, figure stuff out.
Yeah.
problem solve. Like, that's like the fun problem solving, not the math shit that like hurts your brain after
Yeah.
a while.
Hey, sometimes the math is fun.
Okay, Miss Engineer.
Rude!
Yeah. I'm a machinist and I don't really like math, but whatever.
I like, see, that's the thing. I hate Scrabble for a reason, because I hate spelling and words. I'd much rather do math.
Oh, boy. Yeah, but board games... Board games were a time.
They were.
You know, it's... I remember there was a good point in our lives where video games were taken away for a while.
Yep, because we were bad kids. No, just kidding.
No, it's because we were playing them too much.
Yep.
But the problem is taking them away just made us want to play them more.
Yep.
It's one of those things that parents do that never works. Sorry, Mom. But... Yeah, but we had a good, probably couple months, maybe up to a year. I don't really remember how long that ban was. It felt like a year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we had a good portion where all we did was play board games, because that's all we had.
Yep. And we played some pretty good games. We had a lot.
We played That was the first time we played Vampire Hunter in the dark.
Yeah, because we didn't have
we
any.
wanted to try that.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Do you still have
Yeah.
Vampire Hunter?
I have to check,
You
because
should
I kind of
find-
wish we do, although, now that I think about it, I probably left the batteries in there.
Oh, you could probably find
Yeah.
a copy somewhere. You could probably buy one.
Yeah, but I don't have room for all this useless crap right now.
It's not useless. It's a board game. And that's...
I have enough. I already have the video game addiction. I have the anime addiction.
Alright, start your board game addiction.
I've got comic books, graphic novel. I have to like.
You have a
I gotta
problem.
If I need a bigger place. That's the problem.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. But you'll figure that
But
out.
anyways, any final board games you want to talk about before we wrap it up? Or
No, I think we covered plenty. I think
I mean, this was a very abridged, I guess you could say, look at some of our.
it was gaming. It's still games.
No, it's definitely game. It's gaming. It's a part of our lives. Gaming.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And
Because most of it came during a time when we weren't allowed to play video games.
yeah. And now it's kind of funny because you look at it now and there's a ton of them where they have digital versions now that you can play, like on the
I know.
Switch, like Monopoly and
I
Life.
know.
So
It's kind of funny.
full circle, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that was a good chat.
Yeah. No, this one was fun. It's like it's nice to. We're podcasting twice this week, so it's kind of fun to do it twice because it just
Yeah,
means I get
and-
to hang out with you twice. Yeah.
Yep, and we get to relive some nostalgic memories, and you get to learn about shitheads I went to school with who launched
Yeah.
perfection pieces at people.
And multi-age. And who thought that was a good idea? I don't get it.
We got more learning about how much I hate school, but that's
Yep.
for another time.
And of course, your daily weeb content as well.
Yep, and we didn't talk about. Oh no, we actually did kind of talk about collecting a little there.
Yeah, we did. See, it's the gaming and collecting podcast.
Collecting podcast.
You should just put in parentheses anime,
Eh,
or like in very small text, because it always comes in there at some point.
Yep, we're weebs.
Yep. At least I
Oh,
am.
boy.
I don't know about you completely, but I am.
Alex, I watch rom-coms.
Ah, true, yeah. I still think it's hilarious how I moved on to the action and you're watching the slice of life. But anyways, we
Yeah.
need to stop talking about anime.
Yep. Well, anyways, guys, thanks again for joining us on the Gaming Collecting Podcast. The Gaming Collecting Podcast is an Anchor podcast, and it can be easily found on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Woo!
Anyways, guys, we'll see you all next time.
See you later. Bye.
Yep, see ya.
Oh. Oh shoot.